Bonus episode, Connor. Bonus episode. Pew, 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 pew.
Aiden, can you hear me talking through my mask right now?
Can you hear me talking through my mask right now?
I'm taking it off, but I'm being a safe boy. It's a fucking lockdown, baby.
It's a lockdown.
First time ever, really, that we've been like not allowed to do anything, like go to work, or we have to wear masks everywhere for 5 days. We're probably going longer, but still.
In our lovely isolated city of Perth, in Australia, we've been free from community transmission for the past 10 months.
10 months, yeah.
And now, bang, we go on.
The UK strain where Doctor Who was born. Let's just blame Doctor Who.
Yeah, blame Doctor Who. So that's bad. We're all in lockdown for the next 5 days. Could be longer. I reckon it'll be longer.
Yeah, everyone says that. Everyone I ask, they all go, yeah, it'll be longer.
Yeah, so we'll have to see.
Great.
We'll have to see. And even though Connor and I are still both working, we have vowed that seeing as we don't really have anything to do with our night times, why not record 2 a week? So we've got that for this week. And if this goes a bit longer, then we might proceed to do 2 a week throughout the rest of our lockdown experience. How does that sound, Connor?
It sounds great, Aiden. And hopefully, I hope for our sakes it will end on Friday, but I highly doubt it. Because that's what everyone's saying. To be fair, we didn't get any today. There was 0 cases today, but that could probably all change very soon. So, which is great.
Yeah. Just realised, sorry listeners, I left my aircon on.
Uh-oh.
I'll just turn that off.
Rookie move from Aiden.
That one.
Rookie move from Aiden.
I know.
It happens.
I know. You're the one who every week has your headphones on too loud, so you can always hear me in the background of your audio.
You just love... I think people love hearing your voice twice, Aiden.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I don't know, Aiden.
I don't like hearing my voice once, so how about that?
Really? Fair enough. I mean, don't you have the noise cancelling AirPods?
Yeah, they are, but are yours not?
No, I've got Gen 2.
Okay, but even with the noise cancelling ones, it's noise cancelling for outside sounds, but like you can still hear.
Right.
You can still hear it because of how close we are to the microphones. Anyways, this is all dumb technical jargon. Today we're talking about the Doctor's daughter.
Yes, we are.
Very
interested to talk to you about this today.
I'm fucking excited, man. I've been on the edge of my seat all week, just like, I just want to fucking talk to Connor about this episode.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Weird, hey.
I'm a bit shocked that you're saying that, but yeah, hey, you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it at least. I mean, it's an episode that I was surprised with. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Totally. So, on that little cliffhanger, on that little sneak peek of what's to come, shall we go into the theme song?
Oh, please, Aiden, hit that sting.
Let's go.
50% podcast.
Doctor Who. It's the podcast. Doctor Who. It's the 50% show. Doctor Who. It's the podcast. This week, he's got a daughter. She's cool. She's also his wife. I know, right? That's a bit crazy. Probably caused a bit of strife. 2 of them in the TARDIS hanging out. This time there's 3 because it's Martha, the Doctor, Donna Noble, and me. They're walking around on this future world with the half and the humans shooting up the people. It's a war, a battle of the best, but you can be sure Donna is gonna be the best. Was that good?
It was alright. It kind of started pretty good.
Yeah, went off track.
It always starts well, I feel like, a rap, and then it just starts to go bad.
I think you get too cocky, don't you?
Well, I almost feel like season 4 started off bad and is going to go really good.
Yeah, well, you were loving series 4 from the start, champ.
I think I like it more now that I'm older. I see what they were going for now. There's so many episodes this season that I just, like I said, when I was younger, I just wouldn't give any time of day, like this episode, for example, and Fires of Pompeii. Which, you know, 2 episodes I was just like, nah, don't like them. Forget them.
No, I always quite like this one.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we're just jumping into it, but I haven't watched this episode in years, like literally years. I never rewatched it.
Same.
I just I really didn't like it as a kid at all. I really just never had anything cool with it.
Well, from now up until I think I saw Stolen Earth a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But from the entirety of Series 4 up to, I want to say, The Snowmen, I've not watched these episodes since last time I tried to watch the entire show, which was about 5 years ago.
Damn.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. There's lots of cool episodes that I loved coming up in the next month or so, and so I can't wait to get through them.
Yeah, so I totally agree. Like, yeah, especially this one, because like I feel like a lot of my disappointment with this episode when I was young was I was already going through this weird transitional phase that I've been talking about with season 4. Like, I was like, oh, Doctor Who's, I don't know if it's like as good as it used to be. I think Russell's getting a bit on. Like, I was being such a twat about it, and I remember like full on disliking the first two, really enjoying Planet of the Ood and the Sontaran two-part, and then going back to hatred for this episode. So I was in a bit of a weird spot with it, where I was like, I don't know, because like the highs were really good for me, but the lows were like, these were episodes where I'd just be so bored in. And I think that the biggest thing that annoyed me when I was young, and look, tell me if you didn't feel this way, but it was the fact that it's a bit of a clickbait title. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it is. It is. Yeah, but
even the trailer,
I don't know. It is what it is. It is what it is. Connor, we best not get too far ahead. We got our favourite part of the show to do first.
What's that?
This week we're talking about The Doctor's Daughter, which,
whoops,
if you were wondering, is the 6th episode of the 4th series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who. It was broadcast on the BBC One on the 10th of May 2008. Set on the planet Mezzoline, the episode features Georgian Moffat as Jenny, the clone daughter of the series' protagonist, the alien time traveller, the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. The plot of the episode involves two factions of clones descending from a group of human and alien Hath pioneers, each of whom are seeking to wipe out the other side with a lost artifact called the Source, while the Doctor also comes to accept Jenny as his real daughter. Whoa. Really? Whoa.
Really? Is that side?
Freaking right. Yeah.
I guess it's real.
Yeah.
I just have the most vivid memory of this episode for me. It's the only thing I can think about when I watched it, was that I bought it was volume 2 of the season 4 collection, and it had...
Oh, hold on. Sorry. It's time for Connor's shit DVD stories.
Hey, everyone loves these.
Whatever you say.
Boy, I'm bouncing around this fucking our normal like plan of a show. Like, I'm literally bouncing all over the place this week.
Yeah, been a while since I've had to pull that sting out.
Hey,
anyways,
you love it.
Connor, yeah, you got Series 4 Volume 2. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so that's why I used to buy them back in the day. And I remember I watched like the Sontaran two-parter with my sister and my dad for some reason. And I remember the episode ended. And obviously, like, the last episode ends on like a pretty sick cliffhanger. Like, the TARDIS locks on to the planet we see in this episode, and obviously there's like a massive cliffhanger, and it ends, of course, with a really cool Next Sun trailer. Like, the Next Sun trailer gets so much, like, there's like slow-mo shots, and it's like, it just has like banging noises, and it has like slow-mo shots of like characters walking, and it's like building it up to be this like massive event, like the Doctor's Daughter. And I remember that Next Sun trailer played, and my dad was like, "Oh my god, play the next episode. I need to find out what happens next." And I was like, I knew that, like, it's not what they were gonna think it was. And needless to say, like, it was like halfway through the episode, and it was literally just me watching it. That's literally the only memory I have of it, because like I remember everyone was being like, "What a rip! That's not his daughter at all." So obviously we start this episode with where we last left off, with the TARDIS going absolutely haywire. And it lands in... I'm pretty sure... Did you think it was the place they used for Flatline? The same location?
It's the place they've used about 900 times in Doctor Who. I think this is its first appearance in New Who.
Oh yeah, it's in Orphan 55, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in Orphan 55. It's in the Zygon two-parter, and I believe it's somewhere else as well.
Christ.
Yeah, but yeah, it's also the place they go to at the end of The Blind Banker.
Okay.
Sherlock.
Okay. The BBC's like, I know a location.
Yeah, we got this tunnel we can use. Just throw it in there.
So obviously the doctor lands, the soldiers like kind of grab him and put his hand into this machine. It takes a tissue sample, and it's a pretty cool idea. I like the idea, like the soldiers just being made, and it's like they almost never run out of an army because they have like an infinite supply of armies, because they can just make these soldiers, and they're instantly born as adults. They're ready to fight, and they have logged into their memories all the history about the war, which we later find out has not been going on for very long, which I totally forgot about, and I thought was actually really cool. And then we get to see the Hath attack.
I have always loved the Hath.
There's such cool design, to be fair.
I know a lot of people that are just kind of like, the Hath are pretty shit. And I'm like, I mean, they don't do much, but they're pretty cool design. And mate, the Hath that we get to know and love and become good friends with and develop severe heartbreak over, he's my boy, you know?
Yeah, it's very upsetting.
I fucking love that man.
It's very upsetting. That scene gives me like nightmares. It's particularly why I don't like him, so I could never watch that scene. Even today when it came on, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I hate this scene. It's so sad. I do love the Hath boys. The Hath boys are cool. I always kind of liked how for some reason their guns, like all these like sparks and fire come out of their guns when they fire at each other. Not sure why, but I love that. It always made me like, but that's so cool. Like, there was so many guns in season 4. I was like, this is sick, bro.
Series 4's edgy, man. They're building up to that finale.
I know, which surprises me as to why I didn't like it much when I was a young lad. But because literally showed me a gun, and I'd have been like, "Oh my god, this is so edgy and cool." Anyway, so yeah, of course Jenny comes out, and yeah, we get to see, of course, a line from the trailer, which is like the clickbait line, which is like, "Oh, she's my daughter," and like, script-wise, it's a bit cheesy, but I get what they're going for, and it's dramatic, and the score's great, and of course we get to see, it's obviously it's David's current wife, who at the time was Georgia Davison, Peter Davison's daughter, so that's pretty cool.
I love that. Yeah, Georgia Tennant was her name at the time. She must have had like maybe a stage name. Sorry, Georgia Moffat. Sorry, I mean, was her name.
Georgia Moffat, which is weird because like Stephen Moffat, crazy.
It's so fucked up, isn't it?
Literally, they're all connected to Doctor Who. It's weird. I mean, I wondered.
The Doctor's daughter, who plays the Doctor's daughter, who's married to the Doctor, but's maiden name is the name of the showrunner of the Doctor.
Yes, literally. I wonder. Do you think they? So this is where they met, wasn't it? Or I don't know. Maybe.
I believe so. I was actually reading some stuff a while back about how, she was like to her dad, and she was like, "Oh, I'm going to hang out with David. He asked me to a play," and Peter Davison was like, "Oh, think he might have a bit of a crush on you," and she was like, "Nah, what are you talking about?
They would never like me."
And then they went out, and then he was like, "Oh, you want to go another one?" And she was like, "Yeah, sure." And then like she came home, and Davison was like, "So?" And she was like, "Yeah, I think it was a date." And then Davison was all like,
I bloody knew it.
Yeah, I fucking knew it. That's my girl. Go on, get David.
Yeah, to be fair, like, she's very pretty.
Totally,
She's got like perfect teeth. She's got lovely hair. Lovely looking girl. She's got great charisma. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's fun.
I can just see why David liked her. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be coarse.
Totally.
Of course, we then get to see this. Obviously, they'll have to come in, and Martha gets caught on the other side, where she gets taken away by Hath, and then they self a detonator, and boom, Martha's stuck on the other side. And she helps a Hath who's dislocated his shoulder, which is interesting because I guess like no matter where you go in time and space, your medical degree can help you. And I guess
all aliens
shoulders.
have the same types of limbs and stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, it makes you think a little bit, but hey, it is what it is. And I love how like she slips the shoulder back in, and the Hath like all think they like she's like hurting him, and he's like, no, stop, it's fine. It's like it's kind of cute. Like it's when you're like trying to almost like R2-D2 with something where like he beats, but you can understand what he's kind of saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't know what they're saying, but you just kind of get it.
Totally.
And then we get like all this exposition and blah 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 about how this war's been going on for what they think is literally like millenniums and stuff. Like, again, we find out later on it's not been long at all. But they were just born to think that way. And we get the number set up, which is cool, which Donna keeps a mental note of. And I think, unfortunately, Donna doesn't really do much this episode. Like, that's kind of the only thing she does.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
I don't know. No, she's alright.
She's always great.
As like she kind of works throughout it as sort of like a middle ground, I think, because the doctor's like, "Fuck you, you're not my daughter," and she's like, "Yeah, you are, Dad." And then Catherine's like, "Oh, that's a bit funny, Doc. She is actually kind of low key your daughter, though, or at least you should look after her like she is, you know."
Yeah, they had that amazing scene later on where the doctor says, "I was a father," which I totally do not remember this scene. Like, I was like, this is so good, and the score was great. It was like a reprise of stuff from season 3, and they played Doctor Forever at the end, which is again really cool. It kind of interested me that it kind of made me like scratch my head a little bit. They bring Martha along just to split them up instantly.
Yeah. No, the thing for me that I was thinking the whole way through was this really does work because it shows that Martha is independent, that she doesn't need the doctor anymore.
Yeah, I love Martha.
But the missed opportunity is like that she wasn't in the episodes before. Like, it makes sense for this episode that she's not, because she doesn't need the doctor anymore, so she leaves at the end of the episode. But like, then it does have a thing of like, was there really much of a point of bringing her back just to instate that? Like, you know, if they'd actually used her in episodes 4 and 5 with the Sontarans a bit more, then it would have been a bit more justified.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, where are we now? Let me think.
We go to the...
Oh, yeah.
Put in the cell.
Yeah, sorry, I literally lost my train of thought. So yeah, we have the scene now where we get to see, like, the sauce gets mentioned. The sauce, because David loves the sauce.
He loves the sauce.
Crack open my beer. It's quarantine things, boy.
Yeah, I've had quite a few.
Yeah, man, like, is quarantine about buying cheap beer? Like, I literally bought 90 cans yesterday for, like, $90. Classic.
My beer wasn't cheap. It was usual price, which is expensive.
But, well, normally I would get, like, a 24 pack for, like, $50, but I was just like, fuck it, I don't know how long I'm going to be in here for, so better safe than sorry. Any shiz. We get to see the plan, and then, of course, they get sent to a 3D model, and they get to see where the source is, and of course the half and the humans, not the humans, but you know, humans are all going to head there and try and get it first.
These scenes were kind of where I lost a bit of interest for a few minutes, I think.
Yeah, so it's like exposition, like blasé, like, you know. But
I was quickly brought back in with the following scenes, Connor. What happened then?
I hope we're referring to the same thing. Are we talking about the whole when they get set up into the jail and stuff?
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing before I forget, because I keep forgetting to say it? By far the funniest line in the entire episode for me, and it was perfect delivery by Catherine Tate, was when Jenny said, "We're leaving," and she's like, "All right, G.I. Jane." I could not stop laughing.
Fuck, I lost my shit with that. Catherine Tate, throughout this episode, she has some of her funniest one-liners. There's one other one. What is it? Why can't I think of it?
So many. I know. I was trying to think as well, because there were so many.
There is one other one later on that is also, like, equally hilarious.
G.I. Jane.
Fuck, why can't I think of it?
One other thing
so funny.
One I can think on the top of my head, I don't think I'm talking about this, was like, there's another one that she had where, like, the doctor, like, sonics the laser and it goes off and it goes back again, and she's like, just zap it back again. And he's like, I can't, it's on the other end. There's so many little lines like that. It just makes me laugh so much. Like, the delivery is so fucking funny. Like, despite her not having much to do, which I can let it slide. But man, so isn't that the actor who plays Podrick in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So Podrick gets a bit of a stiffy for Jenny. Just like he did for Arya Stark. Spoiler alert, sorry if anyone hasn't seen it.
This is the other one, sorry.
Oh, what? God.
When she's like, all right, Rambo.
Man, there were some bangers in here. There were some bangers. Man, it's fucking funny.
G.I. Jane. I love that.
G.I. Jane was so fucking funny. Oh, God. I love her. She's such a great character. I do. And as well, like, you see her, like, as clever as she is and how, like, switched on she is, there's a lot of times you can see that she's like, I'll never stop traveling with the Doctor. Like, she hasn't had that. You can tell Martha's gone through the growth of traveling with the Doctor. Do you know what I mean? Because she wants to leave. She does leave at the end of the episode. Like, you know, I don't know. I think it's cool to see just the difference between the two characters was really groovy to see.
They really are a well-oiled machine at this point as well, aren't they?
Yeah, totally. That I was thinking today as well, like, man, David, I guess the reason why David's era always felt so long for me, and maybe it's part of the fact because I just grew up with it, and when you're younger, like, years feel like decades, you know, a year can pass and it'll feel like a decade. But I think the reason why David's era felt so long for me is because he had so many companions. Like, Matt had 2. Yeah. Like, Pete had 2. Do you know what I mean? Like, David had so many different, like, companions and, like, one-off companions and all that shit. So, yeah, I totally agree. Like, really, really good characters. Yeah. I like how Donna says that the Doctor should try that one time where, like, she kisses Podrick and then she takes his gum. I mean, look, I'd probably fall for that. I'm just going to put my hands in the air. If she was doing that to me behind the cell, I probably would fall for it.
You bloody simp.
I probably would. I'm just putting my hands in the air, Aiden, and I'm being honest. I can see where Podrick was coming from. By far my favourite part of the episode, for sure.
Hold on.
Yeah, go on.
I know where you're getting to. I know where you're going.
Yes, you do. Because I Snapchat.
Hold on for a sec. Before we get into the quirky fondness of that dank meme, the actual cell sequence on an emotional, deep level was, like, to me, phenomenal and the highlight of the episode. There's a scene when the Doctor talks about Gallifrey and stuff like that, and this was when Doctor Who stepped away from its usual quite safe editing style. Usually Doctor Who just does, like, someone talks and we just cut to whoever's talking. But in this scene, we had a close-up of David, and he had this, like, massive look of grief over his face. And to be honest, it was a look on David that I hadn't seen up until this point. Like, this was like a new level of grief, I think.
Right.
And whilst other people were talking, once or twice we cut to them, but for the most part, whilst other people were talking, we still stayed on David and just saw his reactions.
Right. Yeah.
And it was really phenomenal, I think. And you're right, the score was really good there. Everyone was really good there. And sort of the ethical questions that Jenny brought in as well were quite good.
Yes, totally. No, I agree. It was a really good thing. Again, I don't know, like, at this part of the episode, I was like, damn, snap, I'm actually enjoying this. Like, going from a place where I was like, this episode blows and I'll never rewatch it. Like, again, even in this rewatch, I was like, fuck, this episode is going to suck. And it was weird to get to this spot and enjoy it. But, yeah, the dank meme I wanted to say before, and it's my favorite. It's always been my favorite part of the episode, even when I was, like, younger and despised it as an episode. The funniest scene by far is when David uses a wind-up mouse to distract a guard. It's silly, it's fun, it's hilarious, it's goofy, and I loved it. It's so classic David Tennant's Doctor, where he'd happen to have a wind-up mouse in his pocket so big on the inside, and
feels very Stephen Moffat writing-esque.
You know really what I mean? Did. You know, I thought the exact same.
Just with it being really funny, I think. And very slapstick.
And of course, rip to my boy, because the mouse does get thrown into the laser and it gets exploded and it dies. So
he gets fucked up.
Rip to the real hero, in my opinion.
The MLG.
And of course, we have the scene where Martha then goes to find the Doc and has to go back up to the surface. Mm-hmm. I just think set wise, and I know it was dark and it's easy to make CGI look better in the dark, but it looked really good. Like the whole set, or like the sound design was great. Like they had all the fog, the dirt looked great, and the background city and the CGI, it looked fab. It really did.
It really did feel like an alien world. I think Doctor Who quite a lot of the time you can tell that it's just like shot in a quarry and there's like they've just CGI'd in like a skyline in the distance and stuff. But this felt like a real alien world. It was awesome,
I agree. What did make me laugh was Moff's like, oh, there's radiation up there, but I'll be fine if I get out of there quickly enough. And I was like, I don't know about that, but okay. Like, I just, when she was talking to the half about it, I was like, whatevs. And of course, the half doesn't want to come, but Martha's like, oh, come on, you've always wanted to do it. I bet you have. And if she didn't bring him up, he wouldn't have died, but vice versa. Like, it saves her life.
Totally.
Which is a scene a little bit later on, but we get the laser scene where all the soldiers are running after Jenny, the Doctor, and Donna.
Yeah. Look,
it's goofy, but you know.
For the next 10 minutes, and whilst I did enjoy it, I'm aware that the next 10-15 minutes is just like a bunch of them just cat and mouse, you know? Like,
no pun intended with the mouse.
Literally. Yeah, so they're at the lasers and they go through. Can't you just Sonic it? And then Jenny gets that choice, doesn't she, with the whether or not to shoot them.
Yeah, Jenny's choice, man.
Jenny's choice. David performs really well there. And then, of course, we see Jenny shoot the aircon, I guess. The fucking aircon. Something. And then she runs. And then she does the flips. Did you like the flips, Connor?
I think, like, if we're talking logistically, I don't see how it works. I was trying to see how it's possible, quite frankly, that a human body can just flip in the exact same spot.
It's pretty sick, right?
I don't get it. It didn't look like you could physically do that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure those lasers are designed so you can't walk through them really slowly. It's designed to be really high 1 second and really low to the extent where you can't do like fucking front flips through it.
It is also just like, it is just convenient that there is just a big laser wall here. Like, why is that there?
Yeah, there happens to just be a laser wall. Jenny just happens to know acrobatics well enough to flip through them. And it's like, okay, I mean, is that something to do with the fucking Doctor? Like, is it because she's like special? Like, who knows? Like, Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got that amazing scene where you know, Donna's kind of like bantering with the Doctor and stuff and saying shit like, oh, you know, like, oh, you're embarrassed, like you're scared she's gonna do this and that, and he's like, you know, I was a father once. Great scene. Kind of reminded me of the brief mention in Fear Her, but a bit more extended, you know. And the score was beautiful. It was a really touching moment, which again I had no knowledge of.
Yeah. The score throughout the entire episode, particularly in the climax, is fucking good. Some of the best Murray's done this season, I think, so far.
Totally. Yeah, it's a few throwbacks to season 3. I'm not complaining at all. I love that shit. Doctor Forever, please, just put it in my veins. By far the most emotional scene in the episode is the scene where the half just drowns in this puddle of goo, and
that's so sad.
It is really sad. The fact that he sacrificed himself for Martha, I think, it parallels at the end where it's like, you know, are they really different if they can just learn to work together and help each other out? Like, you know, she helped the half of its arm. The half then returned the favour by saving Martha's life, and it parallels the ending. And I thought that was really good, and it was a very emotional scene. Again, it always made me upset as a kid, and like it was sad. It was sad. It had the emotions again. Like, again, we haven't really spoken about it much. I know we briefly mentioned it, but the half design is really good.
Yeah, it is. I'm a big fan.
They're like giant fish, I guess.
Fish boys.
They're fish boys, and they have like this weird like bong water almost, where like it bubbles.
Yep, that's it. The half are just high the whole time.
I think so, yeah. And it's like hell green, so like, you know, makes me think a little bit. I'm pretty sure a half shows up randomly. Oh, I think it's at the end of End of Time Part 2. I think it's
I think there's one at the bar.
Classic.
I love that. End of Time Part 2, they were just like, fuck it, put everything we got into this fucking bar.
Open up that costume department and just chuck them all in.
Mate, they had a field day.
That does make me laugh. And then we get to see, again, Donna's finest moments when she gets to crack the code, which is, of course, the numbers. And it's like the dates. I like how she mentions it's like how America's dates are kind of flipped. Because America has like, they show the date first, and then the day, and then the year, whilst we show the day first, the date. So we show the day first, the month, and then the year. So she's like, it's kind of flipped like that, like in America. And I believe they said that the war's only been going on for like 7 days. Is that right?
Yeah.
So one thing I don't get about that is, does it mean that like there wasn't a single person alive who
literally
hadn't died? Like, do you think that?
Yeah, I thought that. It's a bit bizarre. Like, it kind of works, but it is a bit bizarre, yeah.
I almost thought they were going to go and say the general knew. And he was like, but if I did tell you, you wouldn't have fought or something like that. But he didn't even know either.
That would be a cool twist.
I thought that he would know, and he was the one who was making all the soldiers. Clearly, I'm smarter than the writer of... what the fuck's the episode from last season? Lazarus Experiment. The same guy,
that's this bloke, isn't it?
Yeah, Stephen Lazarus Greenhorn. Experiment. Yeah.
We also, by the way, whilst we're on that, we have a different director this week, Alice Troughton.
Alice
Troughton.
Is it a girl?
I've never heard of before. But,
is it a girl?
Is a girl, yeah. She's directed Out of Time and Small Worlds of Torchwood. Sarah Jane Adventures, she's done Revenge of the Savine, Eye of the Gorgon, The Mad Woman in the Attic, and The Gift. Oh, wow.
What?
And Doctor Who, she does The Doctor's Daughter and Midnight.
Hey.
As well as Doctor Who, Tonight's the Night. What in God's name is that?
The what, sorry?
Tonight's the Night is a BBC Saturday night entertainment television program which was shown on the BBC, presented by John Barrowman. And I think they did like a Doctor Who skit that she directed.
Oh, yeah, I know that skit where he goes in the TARDIS and he like pulls the gun out on that alien. And then David comes in. I saw that
recently, actually.
Yeah, and David comes in and he's like, John, it's my TARDIS.
Yeah. She also directed a bunch of Merlin, an episode of The Flash called Flashback. Wow, great title.
Wow, creative.
And a bunch of other things as well.
I thought Rachel was the first female director. My bad.
Nah, you are wrong. Alice
Nothing
Troughton
changes, Aiden.
Wonder if she is, by any chance... Oh, wait. Despite their shared nicknames and common association with Doctor Who, she is not related to the actor that played Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. Sad.
I was going to say.
I thought maybe she was. Never mind. Never mind. Anyways, so, yeah, just a bunch of weird action now, I guess, and then they all get reunited, don't they?
Yeah, they're in some bloody, like, Bunnings plant section.
It's pretty. I don't know why it's there, but it's pretty.
It's like the Bunnings section, It's Bunnings plant section.
Get a Bunnings snag in you, mate.
Get a Bunnings snag as you've solved the war. He holds like a massive circle vase full of like this weird smoke. Yeah. And he just smashes it and he's like, the war is over. And everyone's like, yeah. And then bang.
Bum, 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 bum.
Bang, Aiden. Bang.
Wow.
Jenny's shot. There's no blood, but I believe her.
Oh, shit.
I believe
they are very good.
Dead.
And this is that moment where I was saying that the score was really great in this part.
Oh, yes.
Ooh.
The Doctor's kind of just like, yeah, whatever. Like, she's a Time Lord. Well, she's got Time Lord shit in her and she'll be okay. And Martha's like, nah, she's going to die. And she does. And you really do get to see the fury of the Time Lord, which again comes out in David so much, where he's about to shoot the general, and then he has that amazing line where he says, "I never would." I think
never would.
You hear me? I never would. I love it. It's really good. It's really funky.
Great ending.
And of course, we get to see. I love the final scene of Martha. her and Don have a really quick chat about, and she's like, one day you'll see, and you'll stop traveling with him, and she's like, nah, never gonna happen. And of course, that does happen, like it always does. And yeah, of course, we'll see her again, obviously. But yeah,
you missed a great little scene just in the TARDIS as well, of the three of them just like having a bit of a debrief. It's a short scene, but David just looks so fucked up in it. Like, he looks like a real sad boy, and got me in the feels.
Yeah, he's like home, perfect. And I get filled with joy that we get to see Martha again. Obviously, she comes back in Stolen Earth, and
totally, she's great.
Journey's End, which baby, am I excited for?
Oh baby, I'm also keen when at some point, whenever we do Torchwood, to get into the Martha trilogy in Torchwood.
Yes. So that must be somewhere between in the Torchwood and Doctor Who time. That must be somewhere between like these episodes and Stolen Earth, because in Stolen Earth that's already happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure,
because in Stolen Earth and Journey's End, like spoiler alert for Torchwood season 2. I hope no one's not seen it, but either way, Owen and Tosh.
Spoiler alert! Alarm! Spoiler alert! Alarm!
Spoiler alert! Owen and Tosh aren't there, so that means by the time the season 4 final happens, they're dead. So I believe that she joins Torchwood, helps out Torchwood between then and now. I always love to see when the Torchwood timeline
either that or like just between series 3 and these episodes, which I think is most likely, actually, because she's at unit now.
But surely she would have mentioned to the Doctor she did it. Like, I helped him out.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, good point.
I'm just saying, it's something Russell would fit in, I think. A quick little connection. And, the end scenes is kind of cheesy and dumb. And I'm sure you'll be able to tell me in behind the scenes, which is about to come up, but I'm pretty sure they were going to go for a spin-off. And it was just badly received, and they didn't do it with Jenny.
I don't think it was like planned to do that. Like, I think it was talked about, and purposely left over and ended so they could do that. But there's not actually much word on that.
Didn't she do some Big Finish?
I'll do a last little look. I'll do a little Google.
I swear she did some Big Finish episodes.
She does now, I think. Yeah.
I love it when Big Finish always be like, "Yeah, go on then, come in. We'll have ya." Pretty much. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe it was you told me. I don't know. I think you said either way. She flies off in a spaceship. She comes back. That Boyd time energy gets her to get back up on her feet, and yeah. But
and she blasts off.
Yeah, she blasts off. And that's it. That's the end.
That's it. That is the Doctor's daughter. I always thought that she did regenerate, and I could never understand. Like, I just thought, was the Doctor wrong or something? Like, why did she regenerate? And then why didn't she change her face when she regenerated? But watching it this time, I was like, this is the first time where I was like, oh fuck. No, I'm so dumb. It's the Source.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't believe it. It's got green in it, but it does look very similar. So I feel like as a kid, maybe a lot of people also might have gotten a bit confused with that one.
I always thought it was, to be honest. Because a bit of a dumb boy back in the days. Plus, I didn't really watch it, obviously. No, I liked it a lot more than I ever have, to be fair. It's the first time I've rewatched it and been like, yeah, this is fucking good.
I think there's a lot of great moments in there. A lot of really silly moments as well. But I kind of love the silly moments. And then there is just like a little bit of like things just to tick up the clock a little bit. You know what I mean? Like just adding to the runtime a bit. But upon the whole, yeah, I fucked with it quite a lot as well. Big time bedtime. Can't
believe I'm saying that, but I frankly thought I was going to hate it.
I was excited as well to watch it because I thought we were going to beef hard and we'd be like yelling at each other throughout the whole episode because I loved it. And I thought you were going to hate it because you had in the past.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, look, I can understand why why you think I would. Because, yeah, literally, I'm surprised, and I'm just as surprised as you. I thought I would dislike it very much, but hey, here we are. I actually really enjoyed it, dare I say it. I'm just as shocked as you.
For you.
Yeah.
So I move on to Australia's favourite segment, Connor.
Oh, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Go for the Week! Connor, I have 3 goofs this week that I spotted myself.
Go on, Aiden. Fire away.
Alright, so the first one is so Jenny goes, she shoots the fucking aircon or whatever, and she like gets up to the lasers, and they're like talking through the lasers, like to the Doctor and Donna.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden they hear gunfire, and Jenny's like, "Fuck, gotta run." And then all I could think was, what was that gunfire? Like, what?
It was all the soldiers, wasn't it?
Yeah, but what were they shooting at? Do you know what I mean?
Shit.
It was such a generic, like, we need to tell the audience that the soldiers are coming. Quick, add a gunshot. Like, but realistically,
maybe
they were chasing
it
Jenny.
Was her and went to shoot someone, and it was a pipe.
It was another aircon vent.
Yeah, it's another aircon there. There you go.
Alright, next one. Oh, my notes just disappeared.
No.
Next one. Alright. This is another kind of small one, but I noticed is after that scene, Jenny runs off in front. Back when the Doctor, I think the Doctor's a bit more. Because when she does the flips, after that, the Doctor's kind of like, that was fucking amazing, and then they're like best friends from then onwards. And then the Doctor and Donna are like chatting, and Jenny runs off up front because she's excited because she's going to go traveling with them, which is a great concept, by the way, and I'm glad that they threw that in there. But Jenny runs off, and the Doctor and Donna are just chatting to each other about Jenny, I think. And because they're walking forward to the direction that Jenny ran off in, they're quite often looking off, like they're watching Jenny running ahead. Mm-hmm. But then when Jenny comes back, she like runs back, and she's like, "I found the fucking trees" or something. I don't know. When she runs back round, she comes back around a corner. So it's like, what has that eye line been looking at? Because they're like looking at each other, talking to each other, and then whenever like the Doctor mentions Jenny, he looks forward as if like looking at her.
Yeah, right.
But
and
she actually
ain't there.
She ain't actually freaking there. So that was a little bit of a goof. And the last one, big one, I know you probably noticed it too. The light in the TARDIS, the big classic. Fuck off light in the TARDIS.
So did you notice it this time, or did you know that?
I knew that, but I forgot about it. And then when the shot started, I saw it and was like, oh yeah, that's this one.
Classic. I have one.
Yeah.
And it's again, it's pretty obvious, but obviously Martha falls into that sludge, and it's like hell wet. And then when she comes into the base and sees the other one, Donna's like, "Oh my god, you're completely soaked and dirty." And she's like, "Yeah, I know, sorry, I fell into this thing." And she's like bone dry, and there's like nothing on her at all. So, bit lazy, is what it is. That's all I really noticed, to be honest.
Bit silly. We almost don't even need bloody TARDIS Wiki this week, but we'll do it anyways.
Yeah, we love those guys. We always love throwing them bone.
Yeah. So, as the Hath carry the battering ram, the leader holds up a hand to stop the others. However, the Hath can be clearly heard to say, "Halt!" despite the species communicating only via bubbles and groaning. When Martha enters the spaceship after traveling the surface, it cuts to the Doctor, Donna, and Jenny. But when they cut back to Martha, it shows her entering again, but from a different angle. That was classic. There. That's a thing. Klein says that Martha and Donna would be forced to use the progenation machine after the Doctor. That's a clone machine, whatever. However, once Jenny is created, he completely ignores them and starts setting up the bombs for the Hath. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't. No.
That's so funny. During the scene where Donna and the Doctor and Jenny try to get past the laser beams change positions between shots. There you go. there you freaking go. That was good for the week this week. Wowee. Quite a few.
Some, which is good.
Yeah, last few weeks we've had to resort to TARDIS Wiki just for all of them, so it was nice to have our own things to say, wasn't it?
Yeah, it always is.
Anyways, shall we move on to Australia's second favourite segment then, Connor?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, everybody, it's time for Behind the Scenes! So, to fix from the last few weeks where it's been very rambly in this segment as I try and read them.
This is great. Yeah, Aiden's come prepared, folks.
I've come prepared. I pre-read it and I took a few notes on the most significant things from behind this scene. So, firstly, originally the plantation scene was originally set in a spaceship. However, they decided to shake it up and they put it in the plantation. There you go. Jenny was never originally meant to come back to life. She was meant to die. But it was Stephen Moffat's idea for her to come back to life.
Ha!
We all know Stephen Moffat doesn't really like killing off characters too much, so...
He's like, her last name's Moffat, keep her.
I might use her, I don't know. Georgia, I don't know who, but Georgia originally auditioned for a role in Unicorn and the Wasp, the next episode.
Ah.
And then I bet they were watching it and they were like, oh, she's not great for this, but anything else we could have her good in?
The doctor's daughter, maybe?
She's the doctor's daughter, isn't she? Yeah, she is. Why don't we just put her in that one? Yeah, sounds good. That was a real life recreation.
That was literally a recreation. That was a transcript Aim was reading.
That's crazy. And then this aspect's really funny. So the laser sequence, the spinning laser shit.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, it was inspired by Britney Spears' Toxic music video.
Oh, aye. Like many things.
Dun, 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 dun,
we all know bloody Russell lost that song because he used it, didn't he, in End of the World?
He did. They should have just put that on when she started to do it. I bet Russell tried it. I bet he was like, just play it, see if it works.
Again. It worked before, it'll work again.
And then Murray was like, no. Instead, Murray made
that like, a piece.
No. Like that hella quirky, funny bit of score.
If we are done, are we done?
We are pretty much done over them ratings, yeah.
Cool. Two things to bring up. Number one, you have finished It's a Sin, Russell's new show?
I have. Shall we do a spoiler-free chat about it briefly?
Sure, I loved it. I thought it was really fucking good.
Good chat.
That's it. No, it was really good. I thought it was honestly shocking, heartbreaking, heartwarming, just like sad as fuck. Amazing performances. Murray score's great. Amazing writing. Love the direction. It was great. It was short and sweet. I really loved it. I think everyone should watch it. I think it's a really important show to watch. And just that it all happened, and the way it was handled, the way people thought that AIDS was a sign from God to get rid of gays, like it was a heartbreaking time. It was a horrible disease which still affects people to this day. But I was so proud of Russell. I really was.
Yeah, he really did good with it, hey?
He really did. We grew up with Russell's writing. I feel like now we're like men and we're mature enough to watch a show like this and enjoy it and love it. And I think it's a perfect time in his career to do it. And yeah, I loved it. There's something I really want to say, but I don't know if we can if we're doing a spoiler-free.
We'll do a spoiler bit in a second. Okay. All right. I was just going to say, totally second all that you just said. So much so that when I was a family member, my auntie in the UK, posted on Facebook. She was like, "Just finished It's a Sin. It's great. You should all watch it." And I commented on it and was like, "Yeah, I just finished it as well." And I didn't want to because they all know I'm the film guy. I don't want to come off like obnoxious and write like the characters and the performances. There was so I'm just fucking commenting on the status. So I just summed it up the best way possible, which literally was each episode was somehow both extremely heartbreaking and heartwarming at the same time. Just the fact that they Russell so perfectly pulled off these two extremes of emotions, and it just worked so well. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Yeah, it really it makes me want to watch Years and Years, which I haven't watched. And I know Dylan and you have been telling me to watch it for ages.
Mate, I think I prefer Years and Years just because it's a little bit more sci-fi, which is a bit more up my alley, rather than just a straight drama.
Right.
But this was great, and you were right that this show really is important.
Oh God, yeah.
One for like recognition, but like recognition of like gay people and what they stand for and things like that, and what they've been through. It's crazy, and two, just like I had no idea that's what AIDS was like. I didn't know that it was this thing that just came out of nowhere and just killed so many people. Like, I think of AIDS and I'm like, oh yeah, Freddie Mercury died, and that's about all I know. Like, yeah, and it draws a lot of parallels to the times that we're in now with COVID. I think just like this kind of mystery disease going around, and we don't really know.
Yeah, I totally got that impression. Yeah,
so it's quite relevant in a way, but that's just a side note. I think it's important for other reasons that this show should get watched.
No, it is. It's really important. I finished last episode. I was a mess. I was like crying. It was so moving. There's people who just like cry watching everything. Like I get quite teary eyed watching Doctor Who here and there, and especially if I've been back from the pub, I normally tear up. But yeah, I don't think I haven't had a reaction like that for a while. And again, I'm just so proud of Russell and everything that he's done. And again, I think that it's something everyone should just watch. And totally. And how we can still be in a spot where people are being discriminated against for being attracted to the same sex is beyond me. And the scary part is there's a lot of things in this show which have not changed to this day, and I think that's the most heartbreaking thing. Luckily now you can have AIDS and live with it, and not die. But yeah, it was quite eye opening and quite confronting. But I really liked it. I was
totally agree. It looked pretty, sounded great. It was, performances, top 10. Casting was amazing.
Casting was great. Yeah, totally.
Okay, I'd probably straight up just give it like a 9 or a 10 out of 10, Like, it's great shit.
Loved it. I loved it, yeah.
So what was it a spoiler for It's a Sin? Is that what you were going to say?
There's a tiny thing which, oh God, if you haven't seen it, maybe just skip 30 minutes.
I know what you're going to say.
It's really cool. But yeah, I feel like if you shouldn't know, but yeah.
I'll just put a mild disclaimer with a very faint spoiler alarm in the background. Yes. This thing that we're about to discuss, if it is what I think it is,
yes.
Is actually, it's not a huge thing plot-wise, just for Doctor Who fans, maybe nice to be kept a little bit of a secret. Mm-hmm. Other than that, just jump ahead like 45 seconds, I guess.
45 seconds.
Or listen to us talk about it. Connor, take it away.
Well, I had a feeling there'd be a small Doctor Who reference, but of course, we get to see the Daleks, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was, I don't know, I thought there'd be a small reference, but it was really cool. Like, Richie works on the set, where he's like an actor on a set of Doctor Who, which was really cool.
Did you know about this beforehand?
No.
Oh, that's sick. Because
I didn't know.
This, like, the reason I'm being like, it's not that big of a spoiler is because it was, like, kind of properly announced.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, like, it was in Doctor Who magazine beforehand. Like, I knew about it for a couple of weeks before I watched it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought that would be a small reference, like, maybe it would get mentioned or something, or like, but to see the Daleks was really fucking cool. But yeah.
Yeah. Dope.
It brought a smile on my face. Last thing I want to bring up, Aiden, I want to hear your thoughts on it, because we spoke a lot about, obviously, Freema's character. Freema, who plays Martha. We spoke a lot last year about how, and this is for season 3, how we thought Freema was great. We loved her character, but she got bogged down with this whole romantic side with the Doctor. This clip's been going around Twitter where Freema actually opens up a lot about this. I wonder if you've seen it. Have you seen that clip?
No, I've not, no.
Okay, well, yeah, she opened up at Con saying that, I guess we didn't have much to say about it because you haven't seen the clip, so I thought you might have. But yeah, basically she opened up at Con and said that You know, she was like really grateful for everything that happened there, and she loved the show, and she'd go back in a heartbeat, and she was so glad she got the opportunity. But she did say that she expressed some, just some productive criticism to the writing about how her character was handled. And I just thought it was really interesting because they had this. Someone tweeted, if this came out today, there'll be some huge backlash towards Chibbers because everyone's obviously trying to find the quickest thing to hate on Doctor Who these days. Again, I'm notoriously not a huge fan of Chibnall's era, but I like to say Cyril. But yeah, she came out and spoke about it. I obviously it can't be recently because of COVID, unless by some miracle it was. Sorry, my voice just broke. Unless by some miracle it was,
Cute.
And it was somehow done in COVID. But yeah, she came out and spoke about it, which I thought was interesting. So I didn't know you hadn't seen it. I thought we could have a quick little chat about it, but that's all good.
Yeah, no, that is crazy, and it's cool that she does that. She's definitely a lot better in these episodes. You know, she doesn't really have that. She's moved on, which is great.
That's what I really like, and you get to see her like moving up. Obviously, she works for Unit, and then she's in New York in Stolen Earth. She's
although
very
she
keen
is
on
also
leaving.
Like, I've got another man.
Oh yeah,
she is a bit like that.
Mr. Tom Milligan. I wonder if the Doctor's how jelly.
I wonder if there's like a reference in Stolen Earth where she's like, I moved to New York and Tom didn't want to move with me, so we got a divorce or something like that.
Where's Mickey at? I kind of like him.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have a scene together. Well, they do. They're in the TARDIS at the end or something like that. But I don't even think they speak. Regardlessly, I'm so excited for the final. I think I'm really excited for Unicorn and the Wasp as well, because I feel like from here on out we're in for a good ride.
This season I kind of struggled a little bit. Like, I think maybe with what's it called, Pfizer Pompeii, I was a little bit like, oh fuck yeah, Doctor Who. But all the other episodes, I've just like, I thought they were okay, but I've not finished them and been like, fuck, that was good. Whereas this episode was the first time this season where I really was like, fuck, that was good, So yeah. I am really keen, and all week I've been, picking up the Unicorn and the Wasp DVD and being like, do I put it in, and like shaking it, and then being like, no, I'll hold off a little bit.
I'm excited. It's Gareth Roberts, isn't it?
Pretty sure it is, yeah. Oh, so surely there's some juicy behind the scenes.
Some juicy gossip, yeah. Some Gareth Roberts tea. Dan is joining us for Unicorn and the Wasp. This is the first time we've had a guest on. We're gonna be using Zoom, so hopefully we're not all talking over each other and we don't know we're doing so, which has happened the last couple of times. And then
first guest in a while as well, actually.
Yeah, since Blink, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be good.
And that was with Zave.
That's with Zave, yeah.
And speaking of which, we have a 2 episodes in a row of guests, because Zave, I've already spoken to him. He's going to be joining us for Science in the Library.
Sweet, no worries. I do want to request quickly. This is a personal thing for me. I'm happy to just send you the audio, but I want to do a quick 5-minute chat with my friend, who is notoriously not a fan of Doctor Who. My friend Mitchell, he's not a fan of Doctor Who. I want to sit him down quickly for like 5 minutes, just me and him. I can send you the audio, Aiden. And I want to show him Midnight, because I feel like it's time he realises that Doctor Who isn't shit. Alright? I'm sick of it. And I want to show him an episode I think you'll like.
For someone, because Mitch isn't notoriously like a film guy,
So I know why you're saying that.
Yeah. But is it the right episode?
I think he really likes stuff where you see how humans turn against each other in sticky situations. Like, he recommended this movie to me, which I watched a few weeks ago, which wasn't great, but it was kind of similar. It was like showing how humans turn against each other. And I was like, what does that sound like? That sounds like Midnight to me. So I thought, as a little cool little bonus segment for the episode, it'd be way too much effort to get him to call in, because he hasn't got a mic or anything, and we're in COVID now, so there's no point. So I'll sort it out on my end. And God, my voice again, it's cracking. If you don't mind, I wouldn't mind just putting that little segment in. I've always joked that I'd love to have him on the show, but he's not a fan of the show. There's no point in having him on for a full hour episode. There's no point.
No, that sounds fun.
So if you don't mind, it would mean a lot to me if you could quickly chuck in this little segment so I can say he's come on this podcast, because he's come on my other one like a couple of times. So I really appreciate that.
Sounds like a fun little extra. Introducing someone that's never watched the show properly before.
Yeah, so we watched some Tyrant Stratagem together, but that was it. And I wasn't too keen on that, because like, not this episode, please, but is what it is. Yeah, I'm excited. We've got some groovy episodes coming up, so yeah, I'm gassed.
Very keen. Connor, shall we give our ratings for The Doctor's Daughter?
Yes, sirree. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
I'm going to give it pretty close to that, 7.5.
Interesting. I was going to give it that, but yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I was close to giving it an 8, and then I was like, hold on, I'm being way too fucking generous as I'm giving this episode an 8, you know?
Yeah. I agree. I think it was fun. I liked it so much more than I thought I would. Some cracking scenes, great score, some lovely performances from everyone all around. And I'm really excited to watch the rest of this season. I think it's going to be really groovy.
It's going to be great. I have one small last little Doctor Who thing to talk about.
Fire away, Aiden.
Guess what?
What? What's going on?
I think I should change my Twitter account to something about like the guy that complains about Australian Doctor Who Blu-rays.
Shit. Here we go again.
Here we go again. Australia is finally getting the collection box sets we're behind. I know they're not out yet in the UK, but like the UK season 8 collection box set was announced like months ago. And then on the thing, it was like, you can get it from HMV and shit like that, and Amazon. Australian viewers, stay tuned for more details.
Was like, that's me.
That's me. And I stay tuned. I check JB Hi-Fi pretty much daily. I'm not even kidding. That's how much I love these sets. To just look for that season 8 pre-order to come up. Never came on. Last week, we recorded a fucking show. And then I went upstairs. Next thing I know, they've announced season 24, the collection. Bruh. And I was like, my God. And then I read like the announcement. I got an email from Doctor Who, and I read it. And it had at the bottom, it was like, available in the UK at HMV and available in Australia at JB Hi-Fi and Sanity. And I was like, hold on a fucking minute. So these guys have sussed out this set, but not the last one. And so I went straight onto the fucking JB Hi-Fi website, looked it up, and there we go. Season 24 was there, but not season 8 yet. So I was like freaking out for like a week. I was like, are we skipping season 8 in Australia?
Is this a thing?
We just don't care?
What's going on, folks?
Is this a thing now? Fucking, I guess it doesn't exist anymore. Who needs the first episode the Master ever appeared in? Who needs that shit?
Not me.
Especially on the 50th anniversary.
Oh, of course not.
Of the Master. Anyways.
Any shiz.
So, then, the shiz happened where at the end of last week, I checked JB Hi-Fi once again, daily, as I do, and bang. Season 8 was there.
Boom,
with a release date.
Bing, pow.
That's 2 months after the UK release date.
Smashing.
I'm glad it's there. I'm banging my head on my mic now, Connor.
I love it, Aiden.
I'm glad it's there, but fuck, man, why? I know it's COVID. Why is it 2 months after the fucking UK release date?
Man, it works in funny ways. Works in funny ways.
Yeah, and then season 24 is just coming soon, but I think that doesn't have a date like anywhere in the globe, so that's fine. I'll let him off.
Even before COVID, it was pretty fucking.
It's been too long since I had the last one.
Oof, that is quite long.
Yeah. Anyways,
we actually
had its own sting. You have your shit DVD rants. I have my pissed off Australian Blu-ray rants.
How dare you? Everyone likes them. That's just nonsense. But either way, it's nice. I was a little bit worried that fans were going to start to think that we didn't care about the podcast anymore, because we had Planet of the U where we were incredibly unprepared, and it was probably one of the worst episodes we've ever filmed. And then last week was good, but it was short. I hope people don't think that we don't care anymore, because it's far from the truth. I got a nice text from Aiden on Friday night after he'd had a few beers, and he was saying how much he loves me and the show. And I gave him a virtual hug.
I know about that one. Personally, I hate it, and you know, I'm like, oh,
I'll pay Aiden every week. Yeah, I pay him every week to come on. Well, now the show's making bank, we're making so much bank from it, I can actually pay Aiden to come on. We'd like to thank you, Hoovians, for fucking paying us to do this shit.
You're so silly. But on that note, I would like to thank everyone for listening, because it is great, and the fact that there is like a bit of a community talking, forming online. You know, we got Dylan, we got Dan, we got who is it? Is it Vinny?
Vinny,
is that how you say
it?
I always feel bad because I don't actually know how to say it.
She's dying to come on the show, man. We have to have these people on. It's just because they all live in the UK, so it's difficult. But
we always say we will, and we don't.
Yeah, it's not. Don't take it personally, please. It fucking blows my mind. We actually sit down together once a week and actually film this shit together. So we'll try and figure it out.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It was fun when we had Dylan ask some questions one episode. Maybe we can like incorporate like a guest segment or something.
Yeah, I know it sounds like I'm putting it off, but I've been telling them, once we get to Moffat's era, it'll probably be for the best, because we're at least booked to the end of this season, and I feel like the specials should just be us. Yeah. And then, so I keep saying to them, Moffat's era, season 5 will probably be the best time to have them on, because we've obviously got Zabe coming on, Dan, who are regulars. And then we can't really have anyone on we got Mitchie doing a quick one on midnight, and then, you know, we should do the final 3 ourselves, and I think we should do the specials. So yeah, that's what I've been saying at least, but yeah.
Yeah, I know I'll have a lot to say about
Fresh Prince of
at least Waters of Mars I'll have a lot to say.
Oh goodness me, I can't wait for that.
I will not.
Baby, I'm salivating.
End of Time, because End of Time I've to be honest barely watched because I hated it as a kid. So
yeah, I never liked it. I'll be really.
I'm also keen for Doctor Who to. I'm also keen for Doctor Who to get properly into HD. Oh my god,
bro, you're telling me.
At least I'm watching the remasters. Hey.
Yeah. So mine's like, even when you stream in HD, this is what people don't understand. Like, you're streaming through internet, it drops in and out. Like, the best thing about
it's compressed HD as well.
Yeah, it's compressed, like dead set. Like, you try and explain to someone else, and they're like, "What does that mean?" Like, it just doesn't look as good, obviously, and it drops in and out. So, but yeah, I'm a twat, so I do it. I admit it. Well, yeah, and I'll see you on Thursday to talk about Unicorn and the Wasp with Dan. Hopefully, you don't die between then.
Yeah. Stay safe out there. Everyone in the UK. I hope us maybe making a little bit of a deal of us like being put into lockdown. It's not us being like, for fuck's sake, we have to go into lockdown. Like, we're aware we've been in a very privileged position for a while. It's more nerve-wracking that we've seen how other countries have gone. We were lucky that our government really from the get-go were like, right, everyone is in lockdown for however long it takes to get this shit under control. And then they were very, very harsh with our border restrictions as to who could get into our state. So for a long time, we've had some very strict travel rules and things like that, but it's allowed us to actually live a normal life for the past 10 months. So it's just scary that all of a sudden, really out of nowhere, we've just been like, there was an announcement that there was going to be an announcement at like 12 o'clock. There was an announcement for a 12:30 announcement. And I was like, fuck. And then by like 12:45, we all knew that as of 6 p.m. that evening, we'd have to be in lockdown. And it's more severe than the ones we'd had in the past. So it's just a bit scary.
Yeah. Friend of the show, our friend Dylan, hit me up. He's like, I just was like really shocked to see all you guys like being kind of like light about it. Not he wasn't saying why you're being light about it. He was just like, I was just kind of shocked considering how we all think it's held depressed and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I think that was kind of just our way of dealing with it. Like, we were making memes out of it. I chucked a few on Instagram. You chucked on Instagram and Twitter your meme. And it's like, I think our fear is kind of leaning into that, or it's like, hopefully we can always get through it together. The second I left my, just the front gate of my house, I had a mask on the entire time. I did my fitness today on the beach. I wore a mask. Like, And everyone seems to be doing it. So, God bless Perth. I hope it sorts itself out,
I think I think the Australian way is really... I hate to say this, it's going to sound really dumb. I think there's a bit more of a sense of humour in Australia.
Yeah.
And I think maybe sometimes... I don't know. So I think we do deal with these things with a sense of humour, but we also, we're doing what we're meant to do. They were saying how good it was. Our Premier stood up today and gave a speech and sort of reflected on the last 24 hours, and he said, like, he was really proud that he saw people doing their 1 hour of exercise a day and didn't see anyone without a mask on. And everyone was cooperating properly. And it's been pretty breezy other than the panic buying, which, to be fair, that's what I was kind of making fun of. The fact that, like, everyone at the shops is freaking out. Like, I didn't own any masks, so I just quickly went to the shop straight away to pick up some masks.
Did you get some?
Yeah, I went straight to the shops and picked up some masks and some beer.
So I saw Aiden when so my parents went to get last minute rations, which is, again, the shops are open, which people kind of forget. Yeah. But I love how, like, literally Mark McGann, our Premier, was like, no one run to the shops, and Mark's starts talking, and my dad's like, all right, Connor, you go to the bar shop, we're going to the shop. I was like, that's literally what he said don't do. And everyone just went at once. I went to get beer. I got like 5 cases of beer, and that was like for me and my dad, which sounds extreme, and it probably is, but hey, I can live off it for the next couple of weeks. And I was just driving home, and I saw Aiden, and I was taking in the beer like one by one, and Aiden like rolls down his window. He's like, "Out of the stinging well, darling." I was like, it's Doctor Who. I got that.
Yeah, it was funny. I was really hoping I'd see you as I was driving past your house as well.
That was like such luck, because I was like I was on the phone to like Dan and Mitchell in a group chat call, and I was like, Aiden, what's up, bro? It's fucking great. Everyone has a good sense of humor about it, I think. Like, even in the bar shop, everyone was like, I love how we all ran here first. We're like, it's true. Yeah, everyone seems to be really cool about it. You get the occasional dickhead who doesn't want to wear a mask. Like, someone got arrested today, but there's only one I heard of. So everyone I saw today was wearing a mask. I even wore a mask when I was driving. I was like, I just need to get used to it. We need to do this, and soon the pub will be open again, and we can all have a pint of Guinness, which I miss a lot.
And I think, well, for me it was a bit different because me and Dad split up. But Dad went to the Bottle-O and I went to the chemist to get face masks.
Surprised you got some, but yeah, that's good.
I got the last pack that was on the shelf.
Shit.
But like, when I got there, it was busy. And I got the pack and I lined up. By the time I got to the counter, it was fucked. Like, the line was out the door. People were getting like angry at the pharmacists and stuff. And these poor pharmacists have been working. About 20 minutes ago, there'd been an announcement about the end of the world, and they obviously would not have had time to have watched it because they would have been working.
Exactly.
So they were literally like, they were asking the Karma guests. They were like, so can you tell us a bit more? And they were just like, bit by bit, just learning just from the guests that they were serving. Then people were getting mad that they didn't know more. And they're like, motherfucker, like, this happened 15 fucking minutes ago. Like, we don't know anything about it.
I felt really bad for them.
What was really bad and was a shame to see was as I left the chemist, I went into the car park to find my dad, and the car park was like packed, and cars were like speeding through the car park, and the amount of horns I heard because people were like reversing into each other. There was a car accident there.
Yeah, that's literally. I was like, there's no way like there wouldn't be heaps, because when I was pulling out of the bottle shop, I went not to the one that you went to because I know what you're talking about. I was a little like close to where Dan lives, and man, like, that car park's hard enough as it is. Like, yeah, I was like, shit. As I was leaving, I was like, this is chaos. Like,
yeah, it's fucked. Yeah. That was a bummer to kind of end the show on.
Hopefully get through it. So it's meant to end on Friday. Who knows? Probably not. But yeah.
I'll be going into work with my face mask. First time ever actually wearing one. Tomorrow it will be.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
Yeah. Exciting times, right?
Always is.
Yeah.
It's always sunny in Perth.
Always sunny. It has been nice, and it was good that despite it being stinking hot today, that it wasn't like everyone flocked to the beach and disobeyed. Like, I think everyone's seen how it's gone bad so quick in other countries and has listened to that.
Like, I just feel like Australia people love their booze too much, and the second the pub closes, it's like the perfect carrot on a stick, and it's like
if you want beer, you better stay home.
Literally, they're so Australian, and I'm there with them. I love the pub, and
totally. I went through a fuck ton of beer last night alone.
Yeah, so did I. I feel like, I had my designated days. I was like, man, it's locked down. That shit doesn't count. And I was like,
shit's out the window, champ.
Literally, I was sat at home. I was like, shit in it. Like, I was meant to go to the pub that night with the boys and have a nice night out, and then fuck, it was like, shit, I should be down there now, but I'm not. And
madness.
But the sooner we fix this, sooner we can go.
Exactly. Hopefully we can hit it on the head whilst it's all starting out. And hopefully, we've got a lot of UK listeners out there. Hopefully, you guys, I'm sure you guys will get through it. I feel like, sounds like the government is being a bit smarter over there now and tackling things a bit better. What am I saying? I'm not a fucking politician. I don't know this shit, but from what I've heard, it's a bit more promising over there now. So, all the best, and I hope you guys stay safe as well.
Yeah, thank you guys. We love you. Always here for you. If you watch,
totally.
If you made it to this part of the show, then goddamn,
mate, this is the fucking back end. This is the dribble.
No one watches this part.
No, it's the dark.
If you watch this part, tweet us at 50doctor and say the word hippo.
Yeah, I actually do. Or if you don't just want to say that, just say something silly relating to it, because
say hippo, I made it.
Hippo, I made it at 50doctor.
Yeah.
Because
and we'll retweet
this is the dribble.
We'll retweet you and follow you. There you go.
We will.
Also,
I'd love
follow
to
our
actually
Instagram. Follow the Instagram at 50doctor. I'm going to start posting this week. I finally got my shit together.
Love it.
And comment on our posts on 50doctor hippo, and we'll follow you as well.
Yeah, so we're at 50doctor on Twitter. We love to chat. We really do love to chat. It's great. I really do adore it. I've been using it a bit more, not just posting about when the new episodes come out, but
you're doing a great job.
Just having a bit of a chat, Let's talk about your favorite episodes, your fave doctors or whatever. Let's do a bit of that. It's good fun over there. You can also follow Connor on YouTube at Connor Hannum, Connor on Twitter at Hannum Connor, me on YouTube at Greeny Productions, me on Twitter at Greeny Pro, and like we said, you can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at 50doctor. That's it.
That's
the show, everybody.
Thank you.
Connor, do you want to sing us out in song, my friend?
Always do, mate. Always will.
Let's do it, baby. Let's go.
Alrighty, folks. And 1, and 2, and a skiddly-diddly-doo.
It's Adams and Connor's podcast. They're doing Doctor Who reviews. Doing Doctor Who reviews in lockdown.